Once upon a time, in the heart of a village called Durumi in Kaduna State, lived two traders, Musa and Muhammad. The village was surrounded by tall trees, fertile farmlands, and a river that shined under the sun. Musa and Muhammad have been friends from childhood, and they made their living selling clothes, especially abayas and jalabia they brought from Kano. They had been friends for a long time, but they were also competitors in business. Muhammad had always been the cool guy. All he wanted to do was to gain little profit on his wares that could sustain him, but Musa was always the greedy one who wanted to build a house from the profits made from one jalabia. Despite their differences, they were still inseparable. They put money together and order from Kano and share them when they received them. One hot afternoon, they arrived in Durumi together, each carrying baskets filled with clothes to sell. As they set up their stalls under the shade of a large tree, Musa turned to Muhammad and said, "My friend, we are both selling the same things. How can we make enough money when we have our stall beside each other in the same village?" Muhammad, always the thoughtful one, scratched his head and replied, "You are right, Musa. If someone buys from you, they may not be able to buy the same thing from me. Let me think." After a moment, Muhammad's face lit up with an idea. "I have it. Why don't we divide the village into two parts? You take the right side and I'll take the left side. That way, we won't compete with each other. And after we are done, we can switch sides and see if anyone else is interested." Musa nodded, impressed by Muhammad's suggestion. "That's a good idea. I agree. Let's do it." With the plan agreed upon, the two men shook hands and set off to their respective parts of the village. Musa walked to the right side, calling out, "Your abaya seller is here. Your jalabia seller is here. Buy your beautiful jalabia and abaya here." His voice echoed through the narrow, dusty streets of Durumi, catching the attention of the villagers. Meanwhile, not far away, a little girl named Aisha was sitting outside her home. Aisha is an orphan, so she lived with her grandmother, Amina, in a small mud house with a thatched roof. They were very poor, but they were known in the village for their kindness and good hearts. Aisha loved beautiful things, especially abayas, but she had never owned any because they could not afford to buy them. Every time Musa passes through their doorstep with the beautiful abayas that he sells, Aisha would always imagine and picture herself in one of the beautiful abayas Musa sells, and would tell herself that one day she would own one. One day, as Musa was passing through Aisha's house, calling out his potential customers to come buy what he's selling, as usual, Aisha was outside waiting for him to pass so she could have a look at some of the beautiful abayas he would hang on his arm. Hearing Musa's call, Aisha's eyes widened with excitement. She ran inside to her grandmother. "Mama, Mama, come quickly. There's a man selling beautiful abaya outside. Can you buy me an abaya for the coming Salah, please?" Amina looked at her granddaughter and sighed. "My dear Aisha, you know we don't have money. How can I buy an abaya for you? Panda Kudi." Aisha's face fell. But after a moment, she had an idea. Mama, what about that old plate we have? It's just sitting there collecting dust. Maybe we can trade it for the cheapest abaya it sells. Grandma Amina laughed softly. That old thing is covered in dust and looks worthless. Who would want it? But Mama, please let's try. Maybe the trader will accept it. I really want an abaya, Aisha begged. Amina thought for a moment and finally agreed. All right, let's see what we can do. As Musa approached their house, Aisha ran out to greet him. Abokina, please, I would like to buy an abaya. Musa looked at the little girl in her tattered clothes and the run-down condition of their house. He frowned, already assuming they had nothing to offer. Do not waste my time, little girl. If you have no money, I cannot sell anything to you. But Abokina, please come inside. We don't have money, but we have something to trade, Aisha insisted. Musa, though reluctant, followed her into the small hut. Inside, Amina sat on a wooden stool, holding the blackened plate in her hands. The walls of the hut were cracked. The roof was patched with old palm trees, and a cool breeze blew through the open spaces where windows should have been. Abokina, Grandma Amina said kindly, this is all we have to offer now. It is an old plate, but perhaps you might find some use for it. Could you give my granddaughter the least expensive and cheapest abaya in exchange, and we can be paying you every week for the balance? Salah is this weekend and she has nothing to wear. Musa took the plate in his hands. It was covered in dust and looked worthless. This is what you want to trade? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Let me at least rub off some of this dust. As he began to wipe the plate with his sleeves, something surprising happened. Beneath the black dust that covered the plate, a small part of the plate began to shine. Musa rubbed at her, and soon he realized that the plate was made of solid and pure gold. Musa's heart skipped a bit. This is a golden plate. How come they don't know this? This would make me rich beyond my dreams, he thought. But he quickly composed himself, determined not to show his excitement. He had a plan. This plate is worthless, Musa said, pretending to be unimpressed. It's so dirty. I doubt anyone would want it. I can't give you anything for it though. Aisha's eyes filled with tears. But Abokina, please. My grandmother says she will pay you every week for the balance of whatever it costs. I just want an abaya for Salah. No, Musa replied firmly. I cannot give you even the cheapest of abaya for this. You have wasted my time. I'm leaving. As Musa turned to leave, he smiled to himself. I will come back later when they have given up hope and take this golden plate for free and also have them pay me for my abaya. He thought. He walked away, confident that his plan would work. Meanwhile, on the other side of the village, Muhammad had finished selling his goods to his people. He decided to try his luck on Musa's side of the village. As he passed Aisha's house, he called out, "Beautiful abayas for sale! Your beautiful abaya seller is here!" Aisha, still feeling sad about Musa's rude behavior, heard Muhammad's call. She ran out to see him. "Sono Aboki," she said quietly. "The handler, I need your help. I don't have clothes for Salah, and I was wondering if you can give me your cheapest abaya. I don't have money, but I have something to trade. Would you like to see it?" Muhammad smiled warmly. Of course, my dear. Let me see what you have. Aisha led him inside, where Amina once again offered the old plate. Muhammad took the plate in his hands and, like Musa, began to wipe away the dust. To his surprise, he saw the plate was made of pure gold. My goodness! Muhammad exclaimed. This is a golden plate. It is worth more than everything I am selling. Amina and Aisha looked at each other in surprise. We didn't know that, Amina said. But if it is worth that much, you must take it. You are an honest and kind man. Muhammad thought for a moment. I cannot take this without giving you something in return. He said, I will give you all the buyers I have and give you all the money I have sold today. Is that fair? Amina smiled. Yes, that is more than fair. Thank you, Abokina. Aisha was overjoyed as Muhammad handed her and her grandmother not just one abaya, but many in different colors and designs. The family now had many clothes to wear, and they won't be wearing tattered clothes anymore. They waved goodbye to Muhammad as he set off toward his stall, carrying the golden plate wrapped carefully in clothes. Later that day, Musa returned to the house, ready to take the plate for free. He knocked on the door, smiling sheepishly. Little girl, he said, I have changed my mind. I will take your old plate and give you an abaya, and you can pay me when you have it. Aisha opened the door and smiled sweetly. Nagode Aboki, but we don't need anything from you anymore. A kind abaya seller already gave us many abayas in exchange for the golden plate. Musa's face turned pale. Golden plate? He gasped. Ooh! When? Where is he? He went to the market side not long ago, Aisha said. He gave us all his abayas except for the jalabia for men, and is relocating to another state to start a new life. Musa's heart dropped. He ran as fast as he could to the market, but it was too late. Muhammad was already far on the other side of the village, waving happily. Come back, that gold is mine, Musa screamed. But Muhammad, too far away to hear clearly, thought Musa was congratulating him. Thank you, my friend, Muhammad shouted. Goodbye now. Musa collapsed in the market, full of anger and regret. His greed had cost him everything, while Muhammad's honesty had brought him great fortune. From that day on, the village of Durumi remembered the lesson that greed only brings sorrow, but honesty brings true virtues. Also, kindness is a virtue everyone should possess, whether you are rich or poor, needy or in plenty, sick or healthy. Be kind to everyone. You never can tell when life will choose to repay you back.